Hi everyone, welcome to or back to my channel. My name is Shea and I'm currently living in Bologna, Italy, where I've been studying Italian for 2 years. In today's video, I want to talk about the intermediate plateau and why it happens. I'll also go over some simple but effective tips to help you overcome the intermediate plateau. Finally, I'll talk about some ways you can achieve continuous growth and progress moving forward. So first, what is the intermediate plateau? It's a period of time when a learner seems to make little progress and finds it difficult to reach an advanced level in their target language. It feels like no matter how much time you spend learning or studying, you're not making any progress. The number of mistakes is the same as it was months ago, and you aren't learning any new words or remembering them. So why exactly does it happen? Some people say it's psychological. The initial progress of early learning stages is a lot easier to feel and understand than progress at more advanced levels. You acquire the most common words in a language very quickly, you see them often, and they easily become stored in your long-term memory. Basically, you feel like you learn a lot faster when you first start, and later on it takes more effort to make even the smallest of changes and progress. There's also this aspect of theory versus practice. Basically, learning a new language in the classroom or on your own versus using it in the real world introduces a lot of new challenges that you weren't prepared for and may make you feel like you haven't actually made as much progress as you thought. You're constantly introduced to new situations or new topics that you've never learned or that you aren't prepared for or never studied, and you can feel very easily discouraged. So if you felt like this or currently feel like this, you know the feeling of the intermediate plateau. I can confidently say that I am also on that intermediate plateau. So how can we try to overcome it? First, you have to put what you've learned into practice. This may be the hardest part, but you have to speak the language. There's only so much you can learn from grammar books and doing conjugations, doing exercises. At a certain point, you have to start speaking. Languages are meant to be spoken so we can communicate with the people around us. But if you don't live in the country of the language you're learning, how can you actually get that practice with native speakers? Before actually moving to Italy, I was in the exact same situation. And luckily, I found italki. I've been using italki for years now, and I'm so thrilled that we're partnering on this video because they have helped me tremendously improve my Italian speaking skills. With italki, you can choose from over 30,000 teachers worldwide to find one that works best for you and your needs, whether you're studying for a certification, exam, or just want a native speaking buddy. You can work with your instructor one-on-one to structure your lessons as personalized as you need. And the best part is there's no subscription commitment. You pay as you go, and lessons start as little as $5, so they're very, very affordable. Plus, since there are so many options and teachers available, you can easily fit a language learning session into your schedule and learn from anywhere. If you're a little nervous about trying it because you're scared to talk to a native speaker, here's some footage from my most recent lesson with my italki tutor.
Mi hai detto una cosa che sì, ho sentito varie volte della macchina, della fretta, e mi interessa perché a volte ho notato che le persone hanno una visione molto romantica dell'Italia. Non so, avevi delle aspettative prima di venire in Italia?
Sì, forse anch'io avevo questa idea che Italia è sempre la dolce vita e, è interessante perché molti dei miei amici mi dicono: oh wow, vivi in Italia, probabilmente la tua vita è sempre un sogno, sempre molto facile, tranquilla, sì, cose così, ma ovviamente sì, perché questo non è una vacanza per me, perché adesso vivo qui.
Certo, anche perché spesso non si parla del fatto che trasferirsi vuol dire iniziare da zero, quindi vuol dire non avere amici,
Sì,
non avere punti di riferimento, non avere un aiuto quando ti serve, vuol dire non avere famiglia, non avere un appoggio. È bellissimo trasferirsi e iniziare, a me piace molto, però è un casino, non è facile. Sì, è bello, però è anche difficile venire qua e cerchi casa da solo e non sai bene dove andare, a chi chiedere, ti serve una mano per trasferirti, i documenti.
So if you're ready to try italki, whether you're a beginner or you're like me trying to break through to a more advanced level, when you buy $10 in italki credit, you'll automatically get $5 in credit to use towards your first lesson if you use my code. But hurry, because this discount is only available for the first 50 users, so head to the link in the description below. Second, something that's currently bothering me is feeling like I'm not expanding my vocabulary. So a trick that I recently heard and I'm very curious to try in the new year is become an expert in various topics to acquire new vocabulary. Basically, when you're interacting with native speakers, you never really know what kind of topics will come up in discussion, and sometimes you really aren't prepared because you've never learned the vocabulary, and then you can't really contribute to the discussion. So you can choose a theme or a topic to study for a week, 2 weeks, maybe even a whole month, whatever you need to become an expert in that topic. You can watch films, read articles, read books, learn new vocabularies, write summaries about what you've been studying. Each week or month, however long you're studying these topics, you'll become an expert and really commit these new vocabulary words to memory. So that way, if it ever comes up in conversation, you will be fully prepared. And by topics, I mean it could be anything from current social issues, cultural events, certain types of cooking, furniture, real estate, a certain TV series, tutorials. Just make a list of topics that you're interested in, or maybe topics that have come up in conversations with native speakers previously that you didn't have enough vocabulary for, and really try your best to research that topic, learn as much as you can, learn the vocabulary associated with that topic, and find ways to use that new vocabulary so it helps you remember it. By focusing on just one topic for a few weeks, it will help you become an expert, but it will also be a little bit less intimidating and overwhelming if you're constantly trying to learn new vocabulary for so many different things. So I saw this tip on Reddit, and I'm going to try it in the new year and see how it goes. Third, try incorporating a learning method that you haven't even tried yet. It's quite possible that you're actually getting bored with the language that you're learning. So when you're bored, it just means you need to switch up your routine and add something new to reignite your interest. For example, if you've never tried reading in your target language, try reading a book that's interesting to you, or even something just like comics or articles online. If you're afraid to watch TV series or a movie because you're afraid you won't understand, at least try and incorporate it into your routine by using subtitles or whatever makes it easier for you. Maybe you've never tried listening to a podcast. Try looking up some popular podcasts in your target language, or make a playlist of songs in your target language. You could even try journaling or writing short stories. I feel like a lot of us avoid writing because not many of us are writing in general anyway, but you could buy a journal and start journaling in the new year in your target language. Add something new to your routine, probably something in an area that you've been avoiding, because the only way to improve is by tackling those weak areas head on. Speaking of that, number 4 is identify your weaknesses and work on those a lot. I have been avoiding difficult grammar topics in Italian for pretty much the whole time I've been learning Italian. So this year, I'm really determined to tackle them head on so I can stop avoiding them in conversation. I need to understand them, and the only way to do that is by practicing and also trying and probably making mistakes when trying. So I have to identify the topics that I usually avoid when speaking. This, of course, would be congiuntivo, which is our subjunctive in Italian. Things like pronouns, passive form, combined pronouns, these things that I know for a fact that I avoid them all the time. So make a list of these things so that way you know for sure this is exactly what you need to work on. And don't lie to yourself, put the really hard ones on there, don't keep avoiding them. Now you have to find various methods to actively practice these. So for me, my plan is to find exercises from workbooks, but I also really want to take the opportunity when I'm speaking to people to use these. So even though I'll probably be worried that I'm gonna mess up or make a mistake, when I'm talking with my friends, I'm not gonna avoid using the subjunctive. I just need to try it and also ask them to correct me if I make a mistake. Another good way if you're a little bit nervous to speak is writing them out. So making your own sentences, writing a story that has a bunch of the grammar that you've been avoiding, and you could also have a native speaker or a friend correct it for you. Find ways to actively practice these each week and stay consistent, because it will be hard, and I'm not looking forward to it, but I really have to commit to practicing much more than I have been. So all in all, if you are currently in the intermediate plateau, or you have experienced it, or you're afraid of experiencing it again, stay positive and accept that your language learning progress will be slower once you get at a more advanced level. When you're a beginner, it seems like you're acquiring so much and learning so much, and it's exciting. But that's totally normal. You're not stupid or dumb because you aren't making as much progress as a person who just started learning the language you're learning. You may not be learning 100 new words a week, but any progress is progress. It's also helpful to connect with other language learners who are experiencing the same thing. A lot of us think that we are the ones who are just stupid and can't figure this out, but then you talk with other people and you realize other people are also on this intermediate plateau, and it's really hard and you don't want to compare yourself. Continue finding ways to make language studying enjoyable. Use methods that are actually fun so you'll be able to stay motivated. And of course, make a routine. Make something that is realistic, that you can stick to. Schedule an italki lesson every week so you have something to commit to. So don't forget to check out italki in the description below. Remember, if you buy $10 in credits, you'll get $5 in credits to use for your first lesson if you use my code. Thank you so much for watching. Best of luck on your language learning journey, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye!